The main thing I discovered is that the source of everyone's individual religion seemed to center around one specific character. Whether it was a man hanging from a wooden cross, or a short, bald, dumpy fellow who spent the better part of his time sitting on a rug. The one character that intrigued me the most only came around once a year. His name was Santa Claus. Santa Claus was an odd gentleman who lived with his wife at the North Pole and worked with a group of elves. They would spend all year manufacturing toys, and on the 25th of December, Santa would set forth with said toys and deliver them to kids all over the planet. Many people seem to believe that Santa Claus didn't even exist and that the whole story was merely a marketing ploy developed by the department stores. After I did a bit of investigating, I discovered that Santa did exist and that he was actually working for the mob. Apparently, the Clauses were an organized crime family, and the whole practice of them distributing toys to children all over the world was simply one big money laundering scam. I soon began to wonder why they choose to live in the North Pole, and whether or not Santa declared those elves on his taxes. I interviewed some of the locals, and one of them said, "I hate these damn elves. They come up here, they take up all the good jobs. Why don't they just go back where they came from?" However, after waking up one morning with the head of a reindeer in my bed, I stopped my investigation. The one subject these religions didn't happen to cover was the question that I desperately wanted to answer. What was the meaning of life, and how much did it earn each quarter? After analyzing the whole concept of Project 15, I decided to look at the big picture and break it down into numbers. In the beginning, it started with two people, a male and a female. The two of them met, got married, had a few drinks, and 9 months later a child was born. Within the next few years, the family expanded and the children grew older. The children soon met other children from other couples and subsequently started families of their own. This process continued to go on and on for the next several thousand years. To give a brief example of how this worked, I had the pleasure of meeting with a pleasant young couple who were just about to get married. They were very much in love, and it was all they could do to keep their hands off each other. Philip was an aspiring young lawyer who had just passed the bar, and Linda was specializing in European cuisine. On the morning before their wedding, Linda was apparently having second thoughts. She was debating whether or not she actually loved Philip, or was it just her overwhelming fear of becoming an old maid. She also thought that she might be simply giving in to the constant pressure of her friends and family to get married, and that she was possibly jumping into this half-heartedly. I told her that there were many cultures in the world where marriages were arranged by the parents or even the government, and that she was lucky that she even had a choice in the matter. I also reminded her that she was about to marry a lawyer, so how bad could things possibly be? Philip unfortunately wasn't feeling much better. He wasn't having second thoughts, he was just worried that Linda was mad at him, and he couldn't figure out what he had done wrong. He said that she had been acting funny and he wasn't sure what to make of it. I told him that there was nothing to worry about and that women just happen to get like that from time to time. I said that everything would be fine providing that he did everything she told him to, never tell her she looks fat even if she asks, and most of all, stay away from her cooking. Finally, Philip and Linda put their problems behind them and decided to tie the knot. They even asked me to be their best man. This was the beginning of the rest of their lives. They went on their honeymoon, moved into a new house, raised 3 kids, had a midlife crisis, got a divorce, married 2 other people, and lived happily ever after. See, it's all very simple. Unfortunately, some people tend to take the concept of religion a bit too seriously. This gentleman here is Bob Sweeney. He thinks he's God. When I asked him why he thought he was God, he said that he really wasn't sure, but it had something to do with a dream he once had about frogs. After that, I realized that there are certain questions that are better left unanswered. It was then I decided that religion was not the only ticket to happiness, and that there were many other avenues which I still have yet to venture down. One of them being sports.